Ideal Zarif 2023-year sewing technology. This revolution in straight stitch sewing. The world's first Ideal Zarif 2023-year double thread chain stitch technology with rotary looper. Large-scale replacement of lockstitch type 301 with a new double thread chain stitch type 401. Inventor, PhD Zarif Sharifovich Tajibarev, mechanical engineer, founder and director of Zarif Sewing Machine Company, Limited. Fundraising campaign to bring to market the Ideal Zarif 2023-year sewing technology. That revolution in straight stitch sewing. In 1994, we revolutionized sewing technology with the creation of the Zarif double thread chain stitch technology using a rotary looper. This breakthrough was officially recognized in 2000 with US patent number 6095069. It has taken us almost 26 years to perfect this innovative technology, making it the world's first ideal solution for sewing straight stitches. To achieve this, we first developed a prototype Zarif sewing machine based on our new technology in 1997. We modified an industrial lockstitch sewing machine, Class 1022, Orsha, Belarus, to carry out our initial trials. Through extensive testing, we identified areas for improvement and gradually improved the machine by applying our expertise. Finally, in 2023, we successfully created the world's first Ideal Zarif technology for straight stitch sewing. We now need financial support to develop an industrial version of the Zarif sewing machine based on our prototype and to start production to bring it to market. We have set up a fundraising page on our company website where anyone can make a contribution to help us bring our innovative product to market. We need your support. You can donate any amount to help us reach our goal. If your donation is $10 or more, you'll automatically receive a pre-order for the industrial version of the Zarif sewing machine at a 10% discount as soon as it's produced. The number of discounted machines you can purchase depends on your donation. For example, a donation of $50 entitles you to 5 machines at a discounted price. Why Zarif sewing machine? The Zarif sewing machine is the world's first machine with a very simple mechanical design. It can sew a wide range of materials up to 8 mm thick with a short needle bar stroke of 32 mm without any adjustments. It ensures consistent stitch quality without skipped stitches, thread breakage, needle breakage and needle point deformation. What's more, the machine allows you to easily switch between needle sizes from number 130 to number 60 without any adjustments. You'll also be the first to sew with our new double thread chain stitch, type 401, with loops turned 180 degrees so that the underside of the chain stitch seam looks more like a thick thread along the seam than a chain of threads. You will also be able to join any materials tightly for the first time with a chain stitch seam and tack the end of the chain stitch seam securely with condensed stitches of 0.5 mm stitch length. Early access for supporters. Anyone who donates $10 or more will receive exclusive early access to the industrial version of the Zarif sewing machine at a reduced price before it's available to the public. This ensures that our early supporters can benefit from the innovation they have helped bring to life. Join us in advancing sewing technology. Your support will help us revolutionize the sewing industry. Together we can bring the Zarif sewing machine to market, offering an innovative solution that delivers superior stitch quality, versatility and simplicity. Help us make this technological breakthrough a reality. Our Ideal Zarif 2023-year double thread chain stitch technology has revolutionized sewing machine design and straight stitch sewing. The eternal disadvantages of the existing technologies of the lockstitch and of the double thread chain stitch when using a looper that carries the bottom thread. Eternal disadvantages of existing lockstitch technologies, type 301, which are not present in our Ideal Zarif 2023-year double thread chain stitch technology. Eternal disadvantages of existing double thread chain stitch technologies, type 401, which are not present in our Ideal Zarif 2023-year double thread chain stitch technology. Video demonstration without revealing the know-how. Demonstration of quality sewing of various materials without any adjustments after setting the normal thread tension for all threads. Our prototype of the innovative Zarif double thread chain stitch sewing machine works on the basis of our Ideal Zarif 2023-year double thread chain stitch technology with a rotary looper. For the sewing demonstration, we will be using sewing threads made in China. The main requirement is the absence of knots, as knots disrupt the stitch formation process as they cannot pass through the eye of the needle. During sewing, the top thread tensioner nut and the bottom thread tensioner nut, not shown, remain in a fixed position, ensuring the normal thread tension, neither too loose nor too tight. In our Ideal Zarif 2023-year double thread chain stitch technology, the needle is not involved in pre-tightening the top thread loop from the previous stitch. As a result, for the first time ever, a double thread chain stitch sewing machine uses a needle with a one long groove. This design offers greater resistance to bending compared to the double groove needle used in existing double thread and multi-thread chain stitch technologies. Thanks to our ideal Zarif 2023 year sewing technology, it has become possible for the first time in the world to reduce the length of the double thread chain stitch to 0.5 mm. This allows for a more secure tacking of the chain stitch seam end and prevents unraveling due to condensed stitches at a stitch length of 0.5 mm. Streamlined design with innovative rotary looper. The world's first sewing machine with an exceptionally simple mechanical design, made possible by the incorporation of a rotary looper, 2 rotary twin-disc cam thread take-ups, a simple needle crank slider mechanism and the absence of needle guards. Revolutionary chain stitch look. This pioneering double-thread chain stitch sewing machine produces a new double-thread chain stitch type 401 in which the loops of the top and bottom threads are rotated 180 degrees. This innovative design makes the underside of the chain stitch look like a thick thread running along the seam, rather than a chain of threads, due to the use of a rotary looper. 1 long groove needle for maximum strength. For the first time, a double thread chain stitch sewing machine uses a needle with 1 long groove to produce a double thread chain stitch type 401, which offers greater flexural strength than a needle with 2 long grooves used in existing double thread and multi-thread chain stitch technologies. Advanced capabilities for sewing thick materials. This groundbreaking sewing machine can sew materials up to 8 mm thick with a short needle bar stroke of 32 mm, thanks to our know-how. Adaptation to different materials. The world's first sewing machine that can efficiently sew a wide variety of materials with different thicknesses, densities, stiffness and elasticity without any adjustments, as long as all threads are set to normal tension, thanks to our know-how. No needle adjustment for different materials. The first machine in the world that can sew different materials up to 8 mm thick without having to adjust the height of the needle lift from the lower position to form a loop with the top thread, thanks to our know-how. Easily sew combinations of different materials. The world's first double thread chain stitch sewing machine that can sew combinations of different materials such as textile leather, textile plastic and textile plastic zippers without changing the normal tension of the threads, thanks to our know-how. Secure tacking of the chain stitch seam end. The world's first double thread chain stitch sewing machine, thanks to our know-how, makes it possible to reduce the length of the chain stitch by 0.5 mm, thus making the end of the chain stitch seam more secure against unraveling by condensing the stitches with a stitch length of 0.5 mm. High-quality chain stitch seams with no adjustments. For the first time in the world, we've used our know-how to achieve high-quality chain stitch seams without skipped stitches. All stitches are ideal tightened, regardless of the thickness, stiffness or density of the material, simply by setting the normal thread tension for all threads, no further adjustments required. Reliable stitching without needle guards. The world's first sewing machine that provides high reliability of stitch formation without needle guards, streamlining the machine's design and extending the life of the needle, thanks to our know-how. Breakthrough in needle stability for different materials. This revolutionary sewing machine can sew different materials without needle breakage and needle point deformation, achieved by the use of a rotary looper and a needle plate with a slot for the needle, coupled with the absence of a needle guards. Easy changeover to different needle sizes. The first sewing machine to increase the maximum distance between the needle and the looper tip to 0.5 mm, making it easy to change from one needle size to another, from number 130 to #60, without having to adjust the looper in relation to the needle. Elimination of skipped stitches and unraveling. This pioneering sewing machine, thanks to our innovative design, can sew materials without a single skipped stitch, which is critical for chain stitch seams, as all types of chain stitch seams are prone to unraveling, both at the end of the seam if not securely tacked, and from the skipped stitch back to the beginning of the seam. No thread breaks. The first sewing machine capable of sewing through materials without thread breaks when low-strength threads and threads with knots are not used, thanks to the smooth tightening of the top and bottom threads with 2 rotary twin-disc cam thread take-ups and our know-how. Quality joining of different materials without adjustments. For the first time, our advanced technology allows to quality join materials of different thicknesses, densities, and stiffnesses with chain stitch without any adjustments during the sewing process, simply by setting the normal thread tension for all threads, thanks our know-how. Efficient sewing of mixed material combinations. Our advanced technology enables high-quality stitching of material combinations such as textile leather, textile plastic, and textile plastic zippers without the need to adjust the normal tension of the threads, thanks to the use of our know-how. Secure tacking of the chain stitch seam end. The world's first double thread chain stitch sewing machine, thanks to our know-how, makes it possible to reduce the length of the chain stitch by 0.5 mm, thus making the end of the chain stitch seam more secure against unraveling by condensing the stitches with a stitch length of 0.5 mm. For the first time, materials can be joined tightly with chain stitch. The world's first double thread chain stitch sewing machine, thanks to the application of our know-how, is able to lock the top thread loop tightly in the stitch without changing the normal thread tension, resulting in a normal stitch that ensures a tight joining of materials for the first time in the world. More wear-resistant chain stitches. Our advanced technology presses the top and bottom of the chain stitch against the surface of the material, greatly increasing the wear resistance of the chain stitch. This is achieved by strong tightening the loop of the top thread in each stitch, thanks to the use of our know-how, another advance in sewing technology. Our innovative prototype Zarif sewing machine has made it possible for the first time to sew materials up to 8 mm thick with a short needle bar stroke of 32 mm, thanks to the use of our know-how, making the machine universal for a wide range of materials. History of Zarif double thread chain stitch technology with rotary looper. In 1994 we came up with the idea of creating a double thread chain stitch type 401 using a rotary looper. We applied for a patent for this new Zarif double thread chain stitch technology, and in 2000 US patent number 6095069 was granted. Before our invention, the rotary looper was used in the single thread chain stitch technology, type 101, on single thread chain stitch sewing machines and button machines. History records that the rotary looper was invented in 1857 by the American inventor James Edward Allen Gibbs for his single thread chain stitch sewing machine, based on the single thread chain stitch technology, type 101, where the rotary looper makes 1 revolution per needle cycle. See US patent number 17427. A rotary looper is a unique and the only tool in sewing technology that can rotate loops of thread around its body by turning them 180 degrees with its tail. Stitch type, working units, and technical specifications of the prototype Zarif sewing machine based on the ideal Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch technology with rotary looper. The world's first prototype of the Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch sewing machine has an extremely simple mechanical design and forms stitches with high reliability and durability. Kinematic diagram of the prototype Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch sewing machine. Our automatic thread trimming technology for the Zarif double thread chain stitch technology with rotary looper. Our ideal Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch technology with rotary looper opens a new era in the development of automated straight stitch sewing. Patent protection for our inventions that we invented in 2023. Advantages and disadvantages of lockstitch type 301 and double thread chain stitch type 401. Comparison of technologies for forming various stitches for sewing with a straight seam. Comparison of technologies for forming various stitches for sewing with a straight seam. Application of the revolutionary ideal Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch technology with a rotary looper that forms stitches in only one direction. Application of the revolutionary ideal Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch technology with a rotary looper, forming stitches in any direction. Can our revolutionary ideal Zarif 2023 year double thread chain stitch technology with a rotary looper become obsolete in the future? Therefore, threading is likely to remain the main method of joining different materials in the future, as it is today. Our ideal Zarif 2023 year sewing technology aims to make thread-based joining more attractive and universal. Thank for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.